Hi, today I want to quickly talk to you about three things. When we last left you, we had just dropped the base camp off at the Airstream dealer in Greensboro. It's off the hitch, heading in to give them the keys. How did that go? And do we still have a water leak? What happened with the water leak? Second, we want to talk to you about the hot water heater that's in here because we've learned the hard way that the Truma Combi is totally different from the Truma that we've had in the last 3 RVs. And then finally, I want to talk to you a little bit about our thoughts about the shower miser. The little thing that circulates water until it gets hot and you turn the little switch and you have hot water. That's it. Let's get started. So first, the repair. It went flawlessly. We got back Saturday. We rested on Sunday. They said bring it in Monday. We were able to pick it up again on Wednesday. Everything works flawlessly. They tested it. Lynn and I tested it again. So we're really happy about that. So let's have a conversation about the hot water, specifically the hot water heater inside of our Base Camp XE. If you didn't know, this Base Camp XE is an electric coach and it prioritizes saving energy over everything else. There's a lot of solar, there's a lot of batteries underneath this thing, and it has one other thing that Lynn and I didn't quite understand. It has a Truma Combi. Now, we expected when I turned the water on and you saw me out there spraying, waiting on hot water to get there, I expected that just like our other Trumas, eventually that thing would kick in, propane would kick in, and I'd get hot water. That never happened. What happened was it was just spinning cold water. The reason? The Truma Combi has a 2.5 gallon water tank. That means it has to heat that water tank up just like it does at your house maybe, unless you have, instant on hot water there too. So it has to heat that tank up and then it sends that hot water out to all the faucets in the shower. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with the coach. In fact, you probably saw I took a shower. Okay, shower worked okay. And I had hot water for that. You probably saw that Lynn had hot water to be able to wash the dishes. We're testing if we have hot water too on propane whenever we're boondocking. Hot water?
Yeah, it's really getting hot. It didn't take long to start up. Usually I have to wait forever for it to get hot.
It just kind of happened. We turned it on, it didn't work by accident. I left the hot water on and when I came back, it had hot water in that tank. So we have learned that we can use that tank to our advantage. Now Lynn would tell you that the instant hot water, the water that comes on like that, a lot of times we'll take a shower and we'll turn it off. And by the time you turn it back on to rinse off, the cold water has crept into the line. And she's always saying that, well, I get it hot, then it gets cold again. I get it hot and I get it cold. With a tank, you don't get that. Now you don't get as much hot water as we would have if we had that instant on hot water, or our on demand hot water. But maybe this is better. I do know this. The other one burns a lot of energy. It burns a lot of propane and it will not even run on electricity. The Truma Combi will run on the batteries and the inverter. It will run on propane, or it will run on electricity, or it'll mix everything it has available to help save energy and still produce enough hot water to use while you're on the road. I hope that clears it up. If you're thinking about getting one of these, or if you have your eyes on something that has a Truma Combi in it, it's really made for van lifers. It's made for guys that want to take a 1 gallon shower and there's plenty left over. So last, let's have a little bit of a conversation about a feature on the Base Camp XE that may be on one of the coaches or RVs that you've owned in the past, and that is the shower miser. Now, what is it? In theory, here's how it works. You have hot water, and that hot water is coming over into the shower head, and you want that hot water to come out. If you're boondocking and you're waiting on hot water to get to you, and there's cold water ahead of that, all that's going to go down into the gray tank. So what the shower miser does is it recirculates the cold water that's coming in that's supposed to be hot into the freshwater tank. So if you had 20 gallons of fresh water when you started trying to take a shower, until you turn the shower miser off, you're still going to have 20 gallons of fresh water because the water that's coming through the hot water is getting rerouted down into the freshwater tank. And in theory, that sounds like a great idea. But here's what happens. If you only have 2.5 gallons of hot water, you're using part of that small allotment of hot water just to get it hot and move it over here to the shower. It's supposed to turn white when it gets hot water. I'm just going to let it run. We'll see what happens and how long it takes. And then you flip the switch and the hot water goes to the shower nozzle, and you're taking a shower and you're golden then. When I get water here, it should be hot, and it's hot immediately. My problem with it is this: you don't really know how much hot water you're wasting out of that 2.5 gallons in order to get that feature. But today I did test it, and as soon as it turns its shade of white or gray or whatever color you want to call it, if you're expecting it to turn like bright white, I think I've learned already it's not going to do that. It's just going to kind of change to a light gray instead of the blue. When you flip it over and turn the shower nozzle on, it's instant hot water. So it's instantaneous because of the shower miser when you get it to the shower. In other words, we have hot water, the hot water tank is heated up, and that hot water has made its way over to the pipes, and it's going to come out, and you're going to take a nice warm hot shower. Now on the sink, the very first time you use it, after the tank has been heated up by Truma, it's 6 to 7 seconds to clear out that line and put that water down the drain into the gray tank before you get hot water. And it's not a lot of water, but you can see that the shower miser will save you just a little bit of fresh water. Now, how well is it going to work? Lynn and I don't know that yet. We were not able to test it on this last trip because, well, it was leaking. It was part of the big problem, so we just never turned it on, and therefore we could at least take a shower. So on our next trip, we'll try to use it and see if it's a really good thing, if it's a, we're glad it's here, but we probably won't use it, or if it's a thumbs down. Those are the things we wanted to get you caught up on. Many of you have asked us how things have gone, and I thought I'd just drop a little video in here so that I could explain our thoughts about the systems that we have on this RV. We love it. Van is a very cool electric RV from Airstream. We expected, because it was an Airstream, that we'd be able to take our very first ever, in 30 years of RVing, our very first ever RV shakedown trip without an issue. But guess what? Even Airstreams have issues, and you have to learn to deal with it. We are really, really happy with how well the dealership handled it and got us in and out of there in one business day. That's really cool. We'll see you again soon, okay? Thanks for being part of our journey.